So that's my 22 for 2022 challenge complete. Honestly, I would just like to say a huge thank you to anyone that's donated, that supported me, that shared my posts, that's watched the videos, everything along the way. Honestly, I could not have done it without you. Thanks to my friends and family that have helped me, you know who you are. And yeah, honestly, I cannot believe that it's complete. What a year. If I had told myself what I'd be doing at the beginning of this year, I would have never believed it. Skydiving, paragliding, walked up Coniston Old Man in them treacherous conditions. Anything and everything that I thought of doing, I've tried to get it done. Set out at the beginning of the year, set myself this challenge. To be quite honest with you, not really thinking it through. So I thought it was a great idea to raise money for a fantastic charity, the Alzheimer Society. And you know what, it's been an absolute pleasure to raise this money for the Alzheimer Society. The crazy challenge started off all the way back in January, where on New Year's Day I jumped into Windermere. And yeah, if you've watched that video, there's obviously a bit of a disaster that the drone fell in, and that's how I jumped in first. But I absolutely love the challenge, to be honest. I've always wanted to go open water swimming, so yeah, I thought it was amazing. Then challenge number 2 was abseiling. This was something a bit different that I never even expected to do, and honestly I thought it was absolutely amazing again. Abseiling down a cliff. It was pretty scary at first, I'd say, but then I got into the swing of it and I absolutely loved it. Challenge number 3 was whitewater rafting, and I did this with my friends Amber and Dylan, and then Abby got dragged along into it. We kind of forced her to do it, and it was so funny. Honestly, some great memories made on that trip. The only thing was, it was very cold, but once we got over that, we all really enjoyed it. Challenge number 4 was me and my mum walked over to Piel. What an insightful trip this was. We got to learn the history, we got to walk across the sea, which I'd never think that I'd be able to do as it was party. I really enjoyed this trip. Challenge number 5 was mountain biking in the Lake District. It was at night, so it made it even more of a challenge, and honestly, I had to have my wits about me on this challenge. I didn't want to fall off and hurt myself. Challenge number 6, this was an epic challenge. It was paragliding in Italy, something that I've always wanted to do, and it was in the beautiful country of Italy. I absolutely loved it. Challenge number 7 was doing a tightrope walk along Coniston Slate Mine with my friend Gracie. This was absolutely epic, and it's so much harder than what we thought. It was so much more scary, and it was just something that you'd never expect to do in your life, but I'm so pleased that we both did it. Challenge number 8 was having a track day driving a Ferrari, which is absolutely crazy, and the sensation and the feeling driving a supercar like that was absolutely awesome. Challenge number 9 was a free fall. This is something that I've kind of always dreaded doing. I don't know, just the feeling of kind of jumping off that free fall bridge in between 2 mountains was so scary. It was honestly, a sensation that I'd never really experienced before, and I wasn't exactly expecting it, but I was so glad that I did it. Next for challenge number 10 was a skydive. This is something that I've always wanted to do, and this is definitely in my top challenges that I've done this year. It's always been on my bucket list. I've always said I wanted to do it, but it made it even more special that my grandma, along with the rest of my family, got to come and watch me do it and got to support me. It was such an amazing day that I'll remember forever, honestly. Next is the kayaking trip for challenge number 11 out of 2022. This was kayaking all of Windermere. It was such a challenge that me and my friend Connie did it. I kind of went into it blind, to be honest. We kind of hadn't really researched it that much. I thought it was going to be really easy. Turns out it wasn't. It's the longest natural lake in England, so I don't know why I thought that. But yeah, it was again absolutely awesome, and to do it with Connie, it was amazing. Challenge number 12. This is certainly one of my favourites. I got to do it with my best pal in the whole entire world, my granddad, the person who cares for my grandma and also has taught me so many valuable lessons, and you know, it was just epic. It was so much harder than what we thought. We thought we were going to go into it, catch a fish straight away, but no. We lost count of the amount of attempts that it took us this year. But At the end of the day, we finally got it done and we both caught a fish, which was an absolute superb end to the whole fishing challenge. Challenge number 13 was hovercrafting along the beach. This was absolutely amazing. It was such a fantastic experience that I would have never have got to do. The sensation, the kind of smooth gliding that you go from water to land was just an absolutely brilliant feeling and experience, and I absolutely loved this trip. So thanks to Dave for taking me on that. Now, challenge 14, how could I forget this one? The scariest thing that I've ever and probably will ever do in my life. And my family and friends know that this was probably one of the hardest challenges that I did. I hate horror movies, so staying in the most haunted castle in England was a shock, and what we discovered was even more of a surprise. But no, I'm so pleased that I did it with my Auntie Julie, because it, again, something that I wouldn't have done and kind of was a real big challenge for me to do. Challenge number 15 out of 22 was wake surfing on Ullswater. This was honestly super fun, and it's again something that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to do so many of these challenges and finally got to do them in 2022. And I just really enjoyed learning something that was completely new to me, it was completely alien, but I did try and get stuck in as much as possible, and kind of watching the video back and seeing me progress throughout each and every surf that I did, it's absolutely awesome, and I really did enjoy it, and I'll definitely be going back again. Challenge number 16 out of 22, gliding over the Lake District. Now, if you told me that I'd get the opportunity to do this at the beginning of the year, I would have laughed. I did, and I've got Keith to thank for that. It was honestly one of the best experiences in my life. It was unbelievable being able to have a bird's eye view of the Lake District on a picturesque day. Absolutely amazing. Challenge number 17 out of 22 with Una and her dad. This was so fun, learning a completely new skill. Thoroughly enjoyed it, really got stuck into learning. I enjoyed the challenge even more because the emotions at the beginning, when I thought that I wasn't going to hit any clay pigeons, that I wasn't very good at it, to then finally getting my first one and then hitting again, and it's such a great feeling. Challenge number 18 out of 22, going down to Manchester with my mum, Abby and granddad. This was such a brilliant day. Going BMX biking for the first time at the Manchester Velodrome. I did not expect the setup to be as great as what it was. Again, something that I'd never done, and really just getting stuck into learning how to do it. Challenge number 19 out of 22, I'd never been horse riding before, and it was absolutely brilliant. It didn't let me down. Going with Amber, my friend, and she showed me the ropes, and having such a well-behaved horse as well, I think made it. We got to walk through the Lake District. It was fantastic. So, challenge number 20 out of 22. This trip to Wales did end up being a bit of a nightmare with my family that came over from Australia. However, it was one of my favourite trips from the year, and we ended up doing a zipwire course inside of a huge cave, and honestly it was brilliant. Number 21 out of 22. We were meant to be doing the longest zipwire, but we know that this didn't happen because it got called off for the weather, like many of my challenges did. Coaster through a forest. And I also did another extreme activity, which was a zipwire course in the huge forest in Wales. Honestly, I didn't even know a roller coaster in a forest was possible. I didn't even know one existed. Absolutely brilliant. As you can tell from the video, because I probably never stopped screaming throughout it. And finally, for challenge number 22 out of 22, my final challenge got cancelled quite a few times, but it was walking up Coniston. But not just any walk, it was walking in absolutely hostile conditions. We got probably 2/3 of the way up and we hit ice. What a challenge to finish on. I will go as far as to say this was the hardest challenge that I had completed. I got on my hands and knees and crawl to the finish, crawl to the very top, and then on the way back down I had to slide down, and then the wind was blowing me everywhere. I was honestly just trying not to fall off the mountain at this point, but at the end of it, honestly, I was really proud of myself for completing that challenge, just because it was so hard and it was so dangerous. I'd like to just again say a huge thank you to anyone that has helped and supported me along the way. It has been really hard work at times. I've set up my own business this year, and I also train for Triple Jump, So it's been hard trying to fit the challenges in between, but yeah, like I said, I would not change it for the world. It's been an absolute pleasure to raise money and raise awareness for the Alzheimer Society. I am so pleased with the outcome of the whole challenge. I really hope that I've done my grandma proud. She is one of the biggest inspirations in my life, so being able to do this raises as much awareness of the absolute horrendous, cruel disease that dementia and Alzheimer's is. It's just been, like I said, an absolute pleasure for me to do that this year. And I really hope that you've been able to get some entertainment and you've had some laughs along the way if you've watched my video. On behalf of my granddad and my grandma and my family, thank you so much to everyone that supported me along the way. It really does mean a lot.
Yeah, well done.
Step by step we'll adjust.